What's up, everyone? We're gonna be having a little bit of a different video today. I had originally planned to upload another Susanoo gameplay video, had it all ready to go, but with the recent news, I decided it was probably best to delay that video till next week. I kind of give my thoughts on everything that's going on. It is raining outside as I record this, perhaps fitting for the mood, so if you do hear a little bit of thunder in the background, that's the reason why. Hopefully my mic won't pick that up. And there'll be some gameplay playing in the background as I talk here, but I won't be commentating on what's happening. I'll just be throwing in some gameplay that I recorded that I wasn't planning on making a video for. Maybe a few different games in the background. But yeah, I guess most of you are probably already aware, but they did announce just a little over 12 hours ago, as of the time I'm recording this, that game service will cease for Gundam Evolution come November 29th, a little over 4 months from now. So I decided I should probably give my thoughts on it. They do have a final mission briefing stream Friday night, at least my time, to talk about the details of everything. I don't know if we'll be getting a mid-season patch to go along with that, or if we'll be getting any sort of balance updates going forward. It sounds like we won't. This will be the last dev stream. I don't know. Maybe they'll throw out some patch notes still. I think they've done patch notes in the past without doing a dev stream to go along with it, so maybe we'll get some. But yeah, I guess my first reaction to the news is obviously sadness. You know, this has kind of been my main game for almost a full year now. It's basically what made my YouTube channel what it is. You know, I uploaded a few things here before that, but it's definitely been the main identity of my channel since it started to grow really from nothing to what it is today. And I'd like to say that I'm surprised about it. I guess a little bit surprised that it came when it did, but unfortunately the writing has kind of been on the wall for a bit. I'm not someone who really tries to pay attention to player-based numbers for games. I know a lot of people really like to bring that stuff up a lot. I'm not trying to say that's bad necessarily, although I think some people do it maliciously if they're trying to get the game to fail, but I don't think that was necessarily the case here. I think a lot of people who wanted the game to succeed were also concerned with the numbers, but they had been pretty much trending down since launch. I think the Heavy Arms release was kind of the last time we got a pretty big boost. There's been small boosts at the start of every season, but I don't think Dyname's release with Season 4 and Susanoo with Season 5 had that much of a spike compared to usual. And one of the most concerning things, because, you know, that was kind of business as usual, you know, the player base had been going down, but we didn't necessarily know, you know, how bad was bad enough for them to end the game. But one thing I did notice is that in the past, for new seasons, I don't know if they did for every season, but I'm pretty sure they did it for Heavy Arms release in Dyname's, and I don't know if they did for any before that, but they had some YouTubers get pre-release previews of the new suits. I unfortunately was never included. I was hoping to one day, but I noticed that when Susanoo release approached, I had not been contacted, but that was the usual thing. I was a little bit bummed about that, but it changed from being disappointed about that to worried when I saw that it seemed that no one had been contacted again, and given that they had done that for the last two mobile suit releases, that did have me a little bit worried that they had seemingly stopped for their latest release. And I'm guessing they may have known that they were probably judging at that point, you know, if Susanoo really had some sort of big boost up in player numbers or something, or purchases, I don't know. So that was probably their kind of last judgment to see if it was worth continuing with, and I guess they didn't see what they wanted there. So the good news part of this is that it looks like they had, you know, had things planned out to the future a little bit if the game had continued. So we are actually still basically getting Season 6 and Season 7. We're getting a new unit in Season 6 and 2 new maps, which is wild considering we've gone 2 seasons in a row without getting a new map, and then now we're getting one of our post announcement seasons. We're getting 2 maps, which is pretty cool, and then Season 7 will also be getting a new map and another new unit then. And you can look around and find out what those suits are. I'm sure they'll announce them in the stream, but I think they posted something on Twitter that showed, you know, what the final two... It included the final two suits in, like, an image they were showing for the game. So I won't spoil for you, you know, if you want to wait for the stream to find out what those are. But if you are interested, you can look up and see what the remaining two suits are that have been shown. And then after that, I guess the game will just kind of continue as it is until November 29th, where it will conclude. And before those two-season things, it looks like they're also making it so you can't spend any money on the game starting next week. On Wednesday, you can no longer buy coins. You can no longer buy... They say no longer buy EC Pod Limited. I don't know exactly what that means. Well, I guess there's ways you can buy... use supply pods. You can use tickets, and you can use coins, I think, or something like that. So maybe it's just that... I'm assuming we'll still be able to spend the tickets we have. I don't know, maybe I'll have to figure that out and dump all the tickets before then in a last kind of hurrah moment. But they're saying they're going to add better ways of getting capital. It's kind of sad that we had to reach the death of the game to finally get it, but they're saying here that you will be able to get enough capital to purchase the new suits, since you won't be able to spend money or anything. And that's nice. I feel like at that point they should probably just give everyone unlimited capital. I don't know if it really matters anymore. They're saying, like, we'll add events and stuff, but, like, why bother at that point? Just kind of give it to everyone so everyone can play it. But at least, you know, it does seem like everyone will be able to try out and enjoy those last couple suits when they come out. And, I'm sorry if my thoughts are a little scattered here. You know, this is kind of a last-minute thing that was not planned that popped up here that I wanted to talk about, so I don't have a script or anything. So I'm sure everyone kind of has their own speculations for what exactly caused the game to fail and not succeed like a lot of us thought it probably had the potential to. I personally, I really think it just ties back to a bit of a rocky start where the game was fun, but we had a lot of server issues early on, and especially combined with the fact that no backfill, you know, a single player missing from a match was enough to kill the lobby, and there was no way to get people to backfill on that. And we still have that to this day, but I do think the servers are a lot more stable nowadays. At least for me, I basically never crash anymore. I don't know if other people still have those issues, but it's been pretty stable for me for the last couple seasons. So I don't think that's as big an issue, but it was definitely a pretty huge issue early on. And maybe part of the reason it's better today is that the people who kept having to just stopped playing because it never got fixed for them. Maybe that's why it's more stable now. Survival of the fittest PCs, or consoles, perhaps, in this case. And then, even bigger than that, I would say, is just the fact that the monetization and progression systems were, frankly, terrible. And they didn't really improve. You know, they threw some capital our way for occasional events, but they refused to give us any sort of way to get it consistently. And I think that was a big bummer for a lot of people. And I know we have a lot of comparisons to Overwatch 2, obviously, since it came out around the same time, and a lot of people were kind of escaping from Overwatch to Gundam Evolution, even if they weren't Gundam fans, due to enjoying the gameplay more. But I think that, in a sense, Gundam's monetization could be better. There actually was a really good package at the start of the game, which I want to say was $30 or $40, at least in US money, where you could get all 5 of the unlockable suits at the start of the game. And then from that point onward, if you saved your capital, you could get everything for free. I mean, that's what I did. I bought that first pack, and then I never had to spend any more money to get any suit after that. So I think that was a good deal. The downsides being that if you ever decided to stop playing and you didn't complete your season pass to get the ongoing capital, you could fall out of that and have to spend money again. And while Overwatch's system probably is worse with the total amount of money you spend, I don't actually know how much Overwatch's Battle Pass is. I'm guessing it's probably $20. We could say 10 to be generous. I don't think it's 10. I think it's more than 10. And each time there's a new character release for Overwatch, you have to spend money to get it. But the thing is, you've got that big pool of heroes already from the start, and you're only unlocking that one more each time. So even if you do end up spending more, I think psychologically, the fact that it's just the one new character you get each time, and you're not missing out on that much, and if you are missing out, you just have to do that one purchase to get something else. While with Gundam, you're missing out from the start. Like, instead of just buying one new thing when it gets released, you're already missing out on 5 suits from the start of the game. And you could, you know, if you played through the first season, got enough capital, you could get one, but what if you picked wrong? I mean, back then, you know, Melee Zaku and Exia were very strong. Unicorn was good, but Mahiru sucked. Marsai was actually pretty good, kind of a counter to the Melee suits. So if you felt like you picked wrong, like even if you picked Unicorn, it was good, and a lot of people, I think, are glad they picked. You couldn't play as the 2 crazy good Melees at the time, and you couldn't play as what was believed to be one of their best counters, Marsai, at the time. So even if, like, I think over the game's lifespan, I don't think its balance has ever been that terrible, but I do think the fact that some of the unlockable suits at the start were strong, and that one of their best counters was also unlockable, I think that was a problem. But I really just think the fact that they were asking for you to spend money for 5 right at the start was something that just instantly turned a lot of people off, even if they did have that good package deal. But they didn't really do a good job of advertising that either. I don't think some people even knew that was a thing. I kind of was just looking through the shop and saw it and figured, you know, hey, maybe that's better than just waiting out to get things because I'll always be behind. And I'm glad I did. But I'm still not going to defend and say that was a great system. They kind of forced me to do that. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest issue, combined with like the DCs and no backfill. Some people will probably say that crossplay, not having crossplay, was a problem. I think it is, but that's more of a thing that could have saved it from dwindling player numbers than something you like have to have. I mean, it'd be nice, but I think the game could have lived without it if there weren't other issues causing the player base to dwindle. Oh yeah, another big thing was the weird like region releasing schedule they had, where it came out in like the US and Canada and Japan, and I don't even know, did it come out in Europe at the start? I don't actually think it did. I know it wasn't out in Mexico, it wasn't out in Australia at launch. That was really weird. I mean, there are indie multiplayer games, I think, that come out with simultaneous global releases. I don't know why they had to do that here. I don't know the process, but that to me just seemed like they shot themselves in the foot for no reason with that. I don't really know what the idea was behind it. But like I said before, I'm sure everyone has their own speculations, whether you left the game before or have stuck to it till now, for why it kind of ended up the way it did. Personally, though, I like this game up to this point. There's been days where I've been upset. I've gone on 10+ game losing streaks, and that wasn't fun. But I've always enjoyed the game at its core, despite its flaws. And while I understand why other people couldn't really look past those issues, I was willing to stick with it for, you know, a lot longer than what we're getting. And I will be sticking through it, I plan to keep making Gundam Evo videos up till the end of the game. I've been here since the start, so I might as well ride it out to the end, I suppose, and get what more fun out of it we can. Oh yeah, and speaking of fun, a lot of you were pointing out on my last video that timing was rather unfortunate with announcing I was joining a pro team right before they decided to close the doors on the game, or at least announce they were closing the doors. Yeah, that definitely was unfortunate timing, but it does sound like we are going to continue and play out the rest of the season, so it's not like it was a total waste joining up with the team. I think we will get to play out a bit and at least do one championship or league, I guess, whatever you want to call it, assuming we make it to that. I think we can. So we will get to do that still, at least before the end. But I also do want to give a shout out to all of the other Gundam Evo creators who stuck with the game. I'll try and pin a comment down below to list out some of the people I've interacted with, and I know either from YouTube or streaming, who've done stuff for the game. So if you guys are itching for some more Gundam Evo content in these days, you can check out them as well. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. As for what comes after Gundam Evo, I don't really know at this point. I do want to continue making videos. you know, I have made a few videos for Gundam Battle Operation 2, and I do enjoy that game. I've actually been enjoying it more as I play it more and kind of get better with it. It's not without its own Bandai set of issues, including server issues, but I do still like it. So I'm sure I will make more videos for that game. I don't know if I want to switch over to it being my main thing after Evo goes away. That's something I'll have to think about. I do feel like my commentary style is kind of best fit for FPS games, and I don't know if it transfers over to that as well. So maybe we'll try and incorporate some other FPS games. But you know, I'm always interested to hear what you guys think. You know, if you have suggestions, feel free to drop them. I can't promise I'll check everything out that you suggest, but I'm certainly interested in seeing what people are interested in. I'm sure people are considering Overwatch 2 as one thing, but you know, like I said before, a lot of us came to Gundam Evo to escape our woes with Overwatch 1 or 2. And I've thought about, in the past actually, making a video or two for Overwatch 2, but I don't know, that game just makes me salty like nothing else. So if there's a demand for it, I could try it, but maybe not top of the list right now for me on things I want to explore next. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. And we'll still, you know, do other things here and there, even before November, as I have been doing. Occasionally throwing in some non-Gundam Evo videos in the meantime. But yeah, I guess that's the plan going forward, so we're sticking with the game till the end. I hope all of you that have stuck with me till now, either from the start or if you're new, will continue to enjoy what time we have with the game left. And we'll give the game a good send-off when the time comes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my ramblings. I think that's going to be it for now. But, you know, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.